Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arun. I'm Solutions Architect, MCT, currently working with Novin Tech, which is one of the best organization to work with. And today we are going to describe MS Defender for Identity. This is our topic for today. So MS Defender for Identity, what it is, and how it helps us, why we need it, and what are the different capabilities. We are going to see all these things in our this playlist SC900. So we need to describe it. All right, so let's start. It is MS Defender for Identity, right? So what it is, first we need to understand what kind of service it is. We all know Defender, so we can easily guess what kind of service it will be. But if I have to define it, it is a cloud native identity, identity threat detection solution. That's what it is. As the name says, MS Defender for what? MS Defender for identity. So what kind of service it is? Because it is a cloud native service. So it is a cloud native identity threat detection solution. Whose threat? Identity's threat. Why? Because it is MS Defender for identity. That's what it is. Okay. So what it does? Well, it monitors your active directory. It monitors your active directory, not your enter ID, your active directory. What we have for the enter ID? ID protection. This is for your on premises, or if you're running it on the virtual machine on Azure, so active directory or maybe related servers like ADFS, right? So what it does, this thing, this thing monitors MS Defender for identity, monitors active directory or related servers like ADFS. Why it is monitoring? It's very simple, because it needs to provide the identity and threat detection. It can only provide this threat detection once Defender knows what is going on. And how it knows what is going on? Because it also install a sensor. Okay, a lightweight sensor, lightweight sensor on DC. Okay, so that it can capture what is going on. Okay, so what it does, it collects, because it is monitoring, it needs to find out what is going on. So this needs to collect the logs, traffic, authentication data, Windows event. So it collects the data related to all the events, what is going on. And this data will be analyzed. This data will be analyzed. Analyzed by who? This will be analyzed by Microsoft's backend advanced behavioral analytics or threat intelligence. It's simple. We have covered this many times. This data would be analyzed by MS advanced behavioral behavioral analytics, or you could say threat intelligence, global threat intelligence, where we have a huge database of all the existing known threats and things like that. So data comes, this existing information which keeps on updating will simply work on this data and find out if there is anything which is worth alerting for, right? So that's what it does. Now it makes sense. Collect data. This DC, this thing collects data. I should make arrow this way. This thing collects data, and on this data, this advanced behavioral analytics or threat intelligence will run on this data and will tell or alert the SOC team accordingly. Okay. So what exactly it is monitoring? It's monitoring your authentication data, your traffic, your Windows event, all those things. Okay. And what it detects, let's try to understand what it detects. We are trying to build the very high level information right here for now. Then we'll deep dive into the capabilities. So it monitors your on-premises Active Directory and related servers to detect suspicious identity. And that could be your user, that could be your any entity which has credentials attached to it, right? So suspicious identity or existing known identity based attacks that can easily be figured out, or lateral movement. And we'll see how these things happen, right? So this is what is MS Defender for Identity. It is a cloud native identity threat detection solution. Threat detection on identity. How it works? It monitors your Active Directory or related servers. How it monitors? Because it deploys a sensor, lightweight sensor on your domain controller, which collects data, and advanced behavioral analytics and threat intelligence work on that data and figure out the suspicious identities, ID based attacks, or lateral movement if anything happening like that. So this is what is your MS Defender for Identity in a very basic way from very high level. Now let's see what are the key capabilities of Defender for Identity. So the very first thing is we talked about, I should start making points here. All right. Let me write down all the capabilities first and then we'll start making points. So the very first is it has a sensor on DC. Okay. That we have already mentioned. Second one is it has UEBA, which is entity profiling or user entity behavioral analytics. Then it has another thing which is your identity attack techniques, or you could say threat detections. We'll explain each one of these one by one. I'm just writing all those down so that we have the familiarity how many capabilities this thing has. Then, of course, lateral movement we talked about, lateral movement path, or we can say lateral movement path mapping. We all know what is lateral movement as of now after so many videos on this. Then we also have remediation action. Of course, it will be there because it is a defender. It comes with it, right? Then we have, if you're suggesting secure score, then you are right. Defender always gives the score. And the posture, right? Posture checks. When we learn the MS Defender for cloud, all these things are covered already. So with each resource related defender, they have their own secure score and security posture. Then, of course, it will also help you to alert and tuning the alert and exclusions as well, because there are things that you would like to exclude. And finally, it gets integrated. Integrated with who? You can integrate it with SIM and source solution, and it sends everything to the Defender portal, which is your XDR. And there is one more thing which help us here is under the capabilities, identity, inventory and reporting. Inventory and reporting. So these are the capabilities. These are the 9 capabilities that MS Defender for Identity has and help us to defend our identity. Now let's explore each of these one by one. So the very first is your sensor. Sensor, where are we installing it? Sensor we are installing on domain controllers. It's a lightweight agent that we install on domain controller to collect the authentication log, network traffic, and events. Domain controls are the source of truth for identities. So that's the reason these are deployed there. If someone is attacking the AD, the DC will see it first. Okay. So we need to install the sensor there. They stream the parsed data securely to Microsoft Cloud Analytics Engine, and they will figure it out whether it's an attack or it's usual thing. For example, a hacker tries to replicate AD database using DC sync attack. The sensor spots the unusual replication traffic and raises an alert, right? So what it does, we deploy it on the domain controller and it collects data, right, and send it to the MS, advanced behavioral analytics, right, and easily figure out what is going on. Alerts, MS, we can say analytics engine. That's where it sends. We have already talked about this here. It's the same thing, right? Okay, now let's talk about the second thing, UABA. So this is entity profiling. It's user or entity behavioral analytics, UABA. User entity behavioral analytics. So what it is, it builds a behavioral baseline for each user device and account. So what it does, it creates a baseline, or you can say pattern, like how this user works or uses the uh, resources in the environment. So most breaches come from valid accounts, not malware. By knowing normal behavior, unusual activity stands out, the pattern, because UABA develops a pattern of the users. So anything which is unusual, it will stand out. So system learns this pattern like logon times, devices, location, frequency. Any anomaly triggers the alerts. For example, if someone tries to log in from India, like they usually log in from India 9 to 5, and suddenly his account logs in from a different country at midnight, and of course, Defender will flag it as a impossible travel, right? So it makes a baseline pattern. Then we have threat detection. Okay. What we have? We have threat detection. So what it is a how anything this guy can know it is a threat, but they have pre-built pre-built detections for identity specific attacks. They have pre-built measures already. So hackers use identity tricks like pass the hash, golden ticket, Kerberos brute force, anything, or maybe reconnaissance before privilege escalation. So Defender compares traffic requests to known attack patterns. So it has pre-built information there. Just keep on updating as well. It compares that information with the ongoing attack maybe or the attack patterns, and it can easily figure it out it's an attack and raise an alarm. So that's what the threat detection is. Then we have lateral movement mapping. Lateral movement mapping. So this will help you to find out all the possibilities because it is a graph based visualization showing how a compromised account can move laterally to higher privileges. So it helps SOC see potential attack paths. Okay, before hackers can use them, so you can protect all those things. So Defender maps the AD relationship like group privilege sessions to show a risky connections. So it's like it shows that a low level service account maybe on file server 01 can reach domain admin through a chain of group of membership. So it will show you all those things that can happen. Lateral movement mapping, that's why it shows a visualization you can easily see and work on it. It's a great tool. Then immediate actions you can take, remediation actions, immediate actions that you can take from the portals. What kind of actions? Once you know there is a threat with some identity, speed matters, faster response matters, which leads to less damage. So from Defender portal, security team can disable an account, reset password, or stop risky sessions. Immediate actions that can also be done with the help of Defender for identity then and there. Then, of course, security score posture check, we already know. Security scorecard for AD identity configuration. It helps organization harden their environment proactively, not just reactively. proactively harden environment, right, with on the basis of secure score, because defender checks for risky AD settings like unconstrained delegation, weak service account, and give recommendation. So it's just like any other recommendation that we see under MS Defender and help us to make our environment secure proactively. Then alert tuning and exclusion, it's the ability of fine tune alerts to reduce the noise. Fine tune alert to reduce the noise. Okay, noise. Because without tuning, false positives can overwhelm the SOC analyst, and in that crowd, a valid or a genuine threat will be missed. So this will help us and exclude certain service account while list known safe behaviors. Those things can be done because we do have exclusions here, right? Okay. So it is like backup account repeatedly triggers brute force alerts. SOC excludes it from noisy detections because this is our managed thing, right? Now it can get, we can easily integrate this with the SIEM and the source solution. So for more higher level or holistic level information about the attack and saving the entire environment, because Defender push its alert into SIM tools for broader context and automated workflows, and SOC team often need one center place for all security logs and enable, you know, and have the wider visibility and take care of the other information. For example, a brute force detected by Defender for identity is automatically ingested into Sentinel, which triggers a playbook to block the IP in firewall. Because we are not here to defend only one entity, rather we are here to defend our entire environment, right? Now, inventory and reporting. This is the last capability which provides a central view of all users, device accounts, and their security status. Central view of your entities makes it easier to track which accounts are privileged, risky, or compromised. A portal dashboard shows accounts, alerts, and health of this sensors, right? So it is like a SOC sees that three privileged accounts are flagged for suspicious login activity, investigates immediately. That's how it works. It's a central view for everything. All right, so we have seen a lot here, a lot of things. Let's try to map those things out. The very first thing is, let's suppose there is a hacker runs reconnaissance on AD. Well, Defender detects suspicious enumeration then and there. For example, there is something tied to the AD sync, DC sync, then this will collect data and send the alert right there. This thing will help, right? Okay. No, no, no. Okay. Then hacker brute force a low level account, Defender flags multiple failed Kerberos login. If hacker moves lateral movement path shows possible admin escalations. If hacker forges golden ticket, Defender detects ticket anomalies. Right? This one is the pre-built thing. This will see the pattern, the UABA, and help out if something is going on. This will give the graph visualization, LMP mapping, which is your lateral movement path mapping. If we need to take some remediation action really fast, we can do with the help of remediation actions of Defender for identity to disable or reset the password. And post-incident secure score highlights identity misconfiguration, or if you like to do the proactively, secure score will help you. We need to fine tune the alerts because too many alerts are noise and you don't want to miss the real alert during this noise. And if we have integrated this cement SOAR, it would be helpful to secure our entire environment, not just identity, a holistic view and a proper attack chain. If you want to see the central view, then you can go to inventory and reporting. You would have the central view, what is going on with each and every identity. So these are the capabilities that we get when we onboard MS Defender for identities, right? But we need to see here how to do that, right? Capabilities. These are the capabilities. Now, what needs to enable or what needed to enable for Defender for Identity? First of all, licensing. Like if you have MS 365 E5 license, you can simply use it, or you can without the right license, you won't see the Defender for Identity options in the portal. Okay, so how we can onboard it? You need to install sensors, install lightweight sensor on all domain controllers, and optionally on ADFS or your ADCS server. These sensors collect authentication logs, traffic, security events. This is not automatic. You need to download and install the sensor from the Defender portal on each DC. It's not like we do in or in Azure, just enable it because it's Azure, it's cloud native, but this time we are going to deploy it on a virtual machine which is on premises. So you need to do it, like we need to do it. And then we need to make sure the outbound connectivity. We need to allow our DC sensors to communicate with the MS Defender cloud. This usually means opening outbound HTTPS port. So as we can say, sensor and lightweight, this going to install on Active Directory right here. Okay, and then this guy needs to have a outbound connectivity. Outbound connectivity. Outbound connectivity to where? Outbound connectivity to MS Defender Cloud, let's say. Okay, and this connectivity would be HTTPS port 443. Right, to defend endpoints. It is not automatic. Firewall proxy needs to be updated by you or your security team. Now, directory service accounts, we provide a read-only service account for Defender for Identity to query the AD. So we also need read-only, read-only service account for Defender for Identity to read these information. This allows it to collect the data that we are talking about, authentication, logs, traffic, events, all those things. Now, once sensors are installed and connected, all data flows to Microsoft 365 Defender for Defender Cloud under identity. Out of the box, you will immediately see alerts, yeah, like brute force, reconnaissance, lateral movement, all those things. But these dashboards are available by default. So you will get out of the box a lot of information. Okay. These things we have to do manually, but here we get out of the box dashboards. Okay, because these are pre-built and you will get all those things, all that information like your alerts and information about what is going on, brute force, reconnaissance, all those things would be started flagging. Okay, so what works automatically? Well, out of the box, you will get, I should start mentioning here, will get attack detection. Okay, will get UEBA because you need not to do it. These are all the databases, information, and the conditions that Microsoft has with them so that they can map with your data and let you know there is an attack or not. Lateral movement, path mapping, this is again pre-built information. They can get it from the your environment and the collected data and visualize and show you in a graphical visualization way what could be the next target and how it can reach to the privileged accounts. Even alerts, a lot of alerts are there which is pre-built out of the box. So these are all things comes out of the box. And what are we doing? We are installing the sensor. We are giving this read-only access. We are making sure that outbound connectivity happens to MS Defender for Cloud with the help of HTTPS 443. Uh, and of course, we define the alert tuning and exclusions. Those things are our responsibility, which is alert tuning and exclusion. These ones, these one is our responsibility. Right. Oh, and of course, we take care of the RBAC. RBAC is our responsibility. If we are integrating it with anything like cement, so it is comes to the our responsibility. All right. So with this, I think we are good with MS Defender for identity. It helps us protect identity. detects advanced attacks, and of course, once it's integrated along with other MS Defender resources like Endpoint Office and Cloud Apps, we would have the complete XDR with us. Well, I hope it was informative and you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.